It's the first working Monday of the year, and it's a time to set new goals and find a new focus. But where do you start? Sarah Naylor is a midlife coach from Nottingham and can help us out. Hey, Sarah, welcome to the program.
Happy New Year. Apparently, it's the last day we can do that as well.
So, if I had said that to you tomorrow, you would have said, "Look, Kevin, that's unacceptable."
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do you know what? I'm all for the positives, and it doesn't matter a bit to us. I just heard earlier that, oh, really? It's the last day.
Oh,
I like to
gosh.
break. I like to break with anything that's to do with
Oh,
structure and what we're supposed to do, Kevin. I like to be a bit disruptive.
do you know what, Sarah? I second that emotion now. Three words: intention, energy, and putting things out there. What does that mean, Sarah?
Well, I mean, when you put things out there, when you energetically put intentions out there, you are setting an energy flowing out because we have to be really careful about the words that we use. And actually, so therefore, we're mindful about what words we use and we use them with intention. That can help generate that energy because, after all, we are all energy. We are just atoms vibrating at a frequency that makes us the physical being that we actually are. So we are actually all part of the same whole, if you like. So whatever we're radiating outwards, we attract back into us. So therefore, when we use words, my three words for this year are expansion, enlightenment, and empowerment for myself and for my clients. And that's the energy I am pushing into the year. So all of that is resonating already because it's how I'm thinking, it's what I'm putting out there. We can have goals as well, but the thing is with New Year's resolutions, they can be hastily thrown together over a pint in the pub. And then come, come sort of February time that you've paid more payment to the gym than you've actually set foot in the gym. So,
Story of my life. Story of my life. So, really, Sarah, it's all about, I think, putting things out there means manifestation.
absolutely.
Now,
I mean,
what about those guilty of failing New Year's resolutions?
I wouldn't ever use the word failure because actually things shift, things change, and we are human, and life has a habit of throwing curved balls at us. And sometimes, if we don't want something enough, we're not going to make it manifest. And equally so, we need to take action because you can set intentions, you can say what it is that you want to achieve, what you want to manifest. But then, if you aren't tuned into that energy, you aren't listening and taking note of the opportunities that are then are presented to you, then you're not taking them as they arise, then they'll just pass you by. So you can't sort of say, oh well, I want to achieve X, Y, and Z, and then sit there watching the TV for 24/7, because you do need to take decisive steps. You do need to recognize the opportunities that do come your way. I mean, I love doing the radio and the TV and things like that as well. So when Hayden rang me and said, would you like to come, I went, yes. Whereas if I hadn't answered my phone, maybe it wouldn't have happened. So it is, it's important to be mindful and make those intentions realistic as well. But even things that aren't realistic in the first instance, if you want them enough, if you're passionate enough about them, you can actually make them happen. It's amazing what does manifest if you really want it to.
True. Now, Sarah, I should have perhaps began by asking you, what's it like being a midlife coach? What does it do for you? How do you feel when you help someone?
Oh, well, I help people, just say predominantly at that midlife age, but I help people really, entrepreneurs, business owners, anybody going through that whole process. Because when you get to midlife, I think there's that time when you start to reflect. And it's really empowering because you can look back at all that you have achieved, recognize that, and lift you up, because it's quite, you can come to a point. I mean, there are people that are empty nesters, or people who've got the end of they've been in a career and they might have been made redundant. All sorts of life things happen when you kind of get to that midlife. I know for myself, 20 years ago, when I was 30, gosh, 39, 20 years ago, crikey me, my whole life changed at the end of a 20-year relationship, and I had to kickstart it all again, so I can help people navigate that whole journey. For example, I went from no friends, and now I've got a network of people globally, and I was on live online last night with people from America, Canada, France, Europe, you name it. So anything is possible when you take those steps to address your life, because really midlife is it's actually an exciting time to start again, to recreate your life, how you want to work it, because invariably you may well have already done the children thing, you've had the career, or you've done the career that you've been led to believe might be that career that your parents perhaps thought you, or the teachers or education thought you ought to be having. But you get to that point and going, this doesn't work for me. What is it? Where do I go? And that's great. That is a brilliant point to get to, because you've got the opportunity then, with all of that knowledge, that wisdom that you've gained and that experience, to really take a step back and go, okay, what does fire me up? What does light me up? How can I rework that? And again, as we were talking about intentions for the year, you can start to put together those sort of component parts that you enjoy, what you might want to bring into your life, and you can start reworking your life. I mean, my life looks nothing like it did 20 years ago. It doesn't look like anything like it did 10 years ago. It doesn't look like anything it did 5 years ago. Because, you know, I've completely reworked my life several times over. Just because we are living one life doesn't mean we can't change our life and live a completely different life. But it takes that, I wouldn't say a step into the unknown. And I've been doing that consistently now for 20 years, which is why I love guiding people through that process and helping them facilitate the changes when they reach midlife or whatever it is. Because I don't now just work with midlife people, I work with people across the board,
But
as
Sarah,
I say, from business owners, etc. Yeah.
going to midlife ages, I was reading up on you, and when you describe women in their 40s and 50s and valuing themselves and starting over, you say you could kickstart your career, believe that your age and every beautiful wrinkle brings with it wisdom and experience. That's their superpower, you
Absolutely.
call it. Wow, that's really motivational, Sarah.
Oh, thank you so much. But it is. I mean, I get really frustrated with this whole energy that's come, I guess, from the States about, you know, it's got to be this sort of pop out Barbie doll look. No, I mean, we're not, we're all meant to be different. And it's embracing all of that. It's embracing the experience. It's breathing into that. Because actually, don't you think people who've had too many facelifts start to look a bit strange? But it's embracing ourselves. It's loving ourselves. It's loving our body. It's loving all those aspects of change. And I think once you start to do that, because the work starts from within, it's about accepting yourself for who you are. And if there are elements that you aren't happy about, it's reframing it, it's looking at it from a different perspective, which is what I'm talking about with the wrinkles. Because, you know, I look at my face, I go, oh crikey, I've got those lines appearing that my gran used to have.
Well, you know,
it's about
we,
loving yourself.
absolutely. We're hard pressed for time, Sarah. I've enjoyed talking to you. You're a marvel and a joy to chat to. Best-selling author,
Thank you.
speaker, business owner, and also a midlife coach from Nottingham. Thank you so much. I hope to speak to you soon sometime.
Oh, likewise. Thank you so much. And as Cher did just say, believe in yourself.
Keep it positive. Where can people get more notes from you, Sarah?
They can find me at sarahjnaylor.com. I'm also a teacher on Insight Timer, and you can listen to my What Three Words podcast on my Harnessing Happiness podcast. I've got about 176 episodes you can listen to out there as well.
Great
So
stuff.
I'm all over
You're
everything.
all over the show.
Kevin Ncube.
Beat.